Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you're new here, my name is Lindsay and I have not been on here for a very, very long time. It's been, I want to say roughly, it's been at least 2 years for sure. Today I'm here to tell you where I've been these past 2 years. Starting with school. So I graduated college this past May and man, I didn't think I would make it. But the reason I wasn't like fully involved in YouTube is because I was so determined to be a straight A student. So determined. I grew up homeschooled, which I think I've talked about before. But with that, my homeschool experience didn't look like other people's homeschool experience or school experience in general. I don't personally felt like I did as much as I could have. And with that, I was really worried I wouldn't make it through college. So that was one of my biggest concerns, was if I was gonna make it or not. I was super concerned with my grades, and I felt like being a straight A student was one way to prove to myself that I belonged at school. Freshman year was when I really got smacked to the face. It was a journalism class, which I'm not really a fan of journalism, but I loved the professor. She was super nice, super helpful. I failed that first test, and that was really what I needed. Like, I hated it. Like, I literally bawled. In the next class with her, I was struggling just to make it through class, and at the end I went and I talked to her, and she sat me down and she looked me in the eyes and she said, "I think you have anxiety." And I was like, "Oh, what?" So after that I went to counseling, and counseling took up a lot of my time as well. Really good thing though. Like, counseling helped me a lot. Which brings me to another point. Like, I was finding myself and who I was, because I didn't really know who Lindsay was. I was really struggling. I fell back into, oh, what if I am a different person so people would like me, like those kinds of things. And that really challenged me. One of my biggest things was committing to things, just committing to things, and forgetting what other things I'd committed to. And so I was trying to learn to balance all of that time. Like, my freshman roommate, I had accidentally overbooked myself and neglected her twice, and it didn't take until she sat me down and said, "Lindsay, we need to work on this." And I said, "Yeah, you're right." So then I started figuring out scheduling and really discovered that I like to be organized. I like to have times. I like to have like exact times where I can plan ahead, so that I'm not worried about overbooking myself. You know, I still fall into that every now and then, but it's not nearly as much as it used to be, thank God. So another thing about like finding myself was just who I am in the Lord. For those of you who don't know, I am a believer, and my relationship with God is really big for me. It's very important to me, and I've struggled with the idea of talking about God on here, on this platform, but in reality it's because of God that I even started this channel. I don't think I've ever really like talked about how this channel like was even created, and it all started when I was, I want to say 17. I had like the inkling, like, you need to start a YouTube channel, and I was like, absolutely not. That's not gonna happen, because I didn't want to start it for the wrong reasons. I didn't want to go in head first thinking, I'm in it to win it, like, I want to be like a YouTuber. Like, no, I literally pushed it aside maybe 4 times. Like, it kept coming back up, and I sat down with my mom and I said, what do I do? And she said, I think you need to start it. So that is this channel's origin story for those who didn't know. But yeah, so my faith is super important to me. Growing up in high school, like, I had really good mentors, like people who were in my life and wanted to help guide me, but I always like wavered, like I wasn't really full in, like I wouldn't really pay attention. So college was the time for me to fully pay attention. I went to Tribeca Nazarene University, which is in the heart of Nashville. And man, we had chapels every Tuesday and Thursday morning and Monday nights. And 1 week out of the semester we would have what was called a spiritual deepening week. And you know, we were required to go to 24, and I'm not necessarily sure that I agree with that amount, because that is a lot of chapels to make. But there were times that I wasn't able to go to church on a Sunday morning, and so chapel served as Sunday morning church for me. So there were chapels that I really appreciated. There were chapels I didn't necessarily appreciate. But all in all, they really did help. Now that I'm not in school, sometimes I find myself missing chapel. But there are other things that help fill that void. My freshman roommate and her husband started a channel here on YouTube called Surrounded Worship, and they release videos every Saturday with the full intent to share that you don't have to just worship God on a Sunday morning. Like, you can worship him throughout the week. You can worship him on a Saturday. Like, there are different ways to praise God, and that's what their channel is all about, and I love it, and I'm fully here for them and support them in that endeavor as well. And I've already seen God use that channel, and I cannot wait to see how God uses it even more. But yeah, so I was really struggling with finding my own faith, not just my parents' faith or my siblings' faith, my own faith. So that's something like I continue to struggle with, but I'm more firmly founded in those now, I believe. Especially now after graduation. And that's like a whole different story, which I'll tell y'all about in a different video. But yeah, so really just finding who I am. And even these past couple weeks, like, I heard someone say, like, finding who you are is how did it go? Knowing who God is finding out who you are, because you're made in God's image, and I absolutely loved that. So yeah, I graduated in May, and it's still unbelievable to me that I am a college graduate. You know, some days I wake up in the morning, I'm like, is this real? Like, is this even a thing? So that comes obviously like with its hardships of its own. Like, you're out of routine. Like, you have to find a different routine for yourself. And to be honest, like, in all transparency, I've really been struggling with that, and it's been hard. It's been really hard. Also, this past summer I've really run into some health issues. I don't know if I've ever talked about it, but sophomore year of college I had to go gluten and dairy free for health reasons, and at first it was the hardest choice, the hardest thing I ever had to do, or one of the hardest things I ever had to do, I guess. But yeah, I've been gluten and dairy free for 4 years, and 4 years? 3 years, I guess. And it's been bizarre. I felt great. I've still felt not so great. This past summer, my health kind of just like declined because I got into a routine of running. And I don't know if y'all like to run or not, but I loved running. But I went to one of my roommates' weddings. One of my roommates got married in May, and it was up north in New England area. And I ran with her, and as soon as I got back, I don't know what happened, but I got really sick, and we still don't know what happened. But I had extreme fatigue, like I couldn't run, and I got so out of routine, and it sucked. Like, it really did suck, but you know, what else could I do? I just kind of ran with the waves, you know. It was a lot, and so now, like, I'm getting better. Like, I know when I exert myself a lot, I'm okay, but it's just it's a lot, you know. Like, I'm trying to find that dedication to like get back out there, you know. Like, I have running shoes, I just need to start running again. So if y'all have any tips on working on dedication and proactiveness, let me know in the comments below, because I would love that. I do know one thing that helps is like when I go to bed, if I lay out my workout clothes the next morning, it does help a lot. So maybe I'll try that again. I mean, if it helped a lot then, it should help a lot now, right? So another thing that has kept me busy these past couple years has been axe throwing. I have no idea if y'all have been to an axe throwing venue, but I would strongly encourage it because it is so much fun. I loved working at an axe throwing venue. I worked at the axe throwing place that was in Clarksville. Sadly, they did have to close due to not enough people coming in. The economy isn't really that great out there for that right now, which was really sad to see it close. It was like a home away from home for me, but oh my word, it was so much fun. I loved it. Seeing and meeting all different kinds of people was incredible. I learned a lot during that time about myself, about my surroundings, about people, about axe throwing. The axe throwing place was a part of Waddle, and if you don't know what that means, it stands for World Axe Throwing League, and it is incredible what some of these people can do. I literally could not even imagine, you know, like I didn't even realize I could throw an axe. At first I was terrible, I'm not gonna lie. So if y'all go axe throwing and you're terrible, don't let it bog you down. It happens. Just keep practicing, keep going. You're gonna get better, I promise you. At the end, like this past season, our last season actually, because we have leagues, and there's three parts, three categories to a league. So there's hatchet, which is the standard axe. There's duels, where two people throw at one target and both of their points count as their score. And then there's big axe, so it's like this really, really long axe, and then they throw it, and I don't know how to explain it other than that. Big axe, you have 5 throws. Duels, I believe you have 10 throws. Yeah, duels you have 10 throws, and then hatchet you have 10 throws. Man, it gets so wild, it gets so crazy. If you're not really into it, it can get monotonous, but honestly, like, I loved it. I absolutely loved it. One of my coworkers actually talked me into doing duels with her this past summer. So we did duels together, and it was so fun. We actually got 2nd place, and there were not just 2 teams, there were 4 teams, and I was shocked because our first week doing it, like, we kept dropping, and we were just there for the fun of it, to be honest. But it was so much fun. I would not change a thing. I actually got to do photo and video for the axe throwing place. I had so much fun. I can't not say that I had so much fun, because I did. I loved everybody I met. It was incredible. Not only working there did I just create like a solid environment and, like, you know, like I said before, a second home, but like we built and made a family. You know, it was a family-owned venue. It was like local, not a big chain. They were former veterans. I love them so much, and if they ever see this video, I want you both to know that I love you, and I'm so thankful for both of you in my life, as well as my manager that I had for quite some time as well. I loved her, and she and her husband are also like family, and everybody I worked with. I don't think there was one person I absolutely despised working with. Obviously, in work relationships you have issues every now and then, but I didn't have like a ton of issues with anyone there. So that's kind of in a nutshell where I've been. It's been so hectic, so crazy. I actually just moved closer to Nashville, and my word, it's also been crazy. Anyways, so I just wanted to take this time and just let y'all know where I've been. Like, I've never forgotten YouTube. It's always been in the back of my head, and I have time now to really be here, to be present, to be, I don't know. I want to be conversational, but I don't really know how to do that over a camera with a platform. So if y'all have any ideas for that, let me know. Let me know down in the comments. That's a way to be conversational. Also, comment things that you guys would love to see. I know there's a lot going on in the world right now, and I think that we really need unity in this time, and just to have someone, whether it's someone you know really well or someone you don't know at all, just to be open to conversation and to be present. And like I said, I know like digitally that's really kind of odd and weird, but I know when I watch my favorite YouTubers, it always brings me a sense of joy or happiness, I guess. But there's such a big difference between joy and happiness. You choose joy. Joy is when you find light in circumstances that can be so dim. Like, you wake up and you choose to be joyful. You choose to be full of things that are good. Happiness is fleeting. A lollipop can make you happy. Cheesecake can make you happy. A certain individual can make you happy. But when they're gone, or when you're done eating that thing, like, are you still happy? You know, like, those are things that I've always had to like sit down and like think about, and I would love to sit down and think about them with you. With that being said, I'm so excited to be back. I love you all, and stay chill and be real, guys.